lethargic. That's the word that I have for the Tennessee Titans. Come on in here. Let's talk about this game after the intro. Hey, welcome back. I'm your host, Bonafide, and this is From the Cheap Seats, the show where we recap and preview every Tennessee Titans game from this season and on. So, let's talk about this Buccaneers game. Now, normally I would give you like 4 segments, player of the game, a game recap, all this stuff, but I'm just coming straight off the dome right here. I haven't even watched any of the other preview shows or recaps or other opinion pieces because I just wanted to give my unbiased, it's not the word I'm gonna give, it's gonna be very biased, but I just wanted to give you my raw thoughts. Yesterday, I went down to Tampa, had the chance to go to the game, spend it with my cousin, who's a Bucs fan, and also a retired vet. A happy Veterans Day to all who served. It was a good time. I went to, they call it the Leatherhead tailgate. So, got razzed. I was in my throwbacks, got razzed a lot by them. But, made our way to the stadium. And yeah, I consisted to sit there for almost 3 hours. I stayed to the end of the game, yes. And watched a lethargic, listless, uninspired Tennessee Titans football team. Now, look, we were playing the Bucs. The Bucs had just came off a 4-game losing streak. And this is how I know that it's definitely an energy problem. When I was talking to my cousin, he said, he goes to every home game. He said, man, look, that loss that we took to the Texans last week really took the win out of ourselves. This place used to be packed 10 times more. Bucs fans were all over the place. It was packed, but it wasn't as packed as he said it was because we were able to, move through areas without any purpose. So, this is a team obviously on a 4-game losing streak. Obviously, can't afford to go, lose 5 games and things like that. And it just looked evident on the field that they had more energy than us. They were out there, they were flying to the ball, they were making plays, they were, tackling, gang tackling hard, making sure that the runner didn't get any extra yards. I mean, you can look up any stat you want to look up. Derrick Henry only had like 24 yards. They were constantly in the backfield. Will threw for over 39 times. Every time Will stepped back, somebody was in his face. Every time Will stepped back, there was somebody in his face. It didn't matter. The play calling, the concepts weren't good. We were doing these long, drawn out. There was no short passing game. Everything was trying to be deep. I didn't get it, and I didn't understand it. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to go to a game and things that, I only go to the ones that are in Florida, so it's every once in a while. But you have to imagine if you're going to a home game, you're seeing the same thing. Will had a great debut, a really good second game, and then this game right here was basically, everything came crashing back down to earth, and it's just like I really don't know what you can do to fix it. Now, I do know that your attitude or how you carry yourself is often a reflection of your leadership. And I'm gonna put that out there. I'm gonna say this. Over the course of a 16-game season, I'm not counting the end of the season, beginning of the season. We'll get that in a second. But over the course of a 16-game season, the Tennessee Titans have gone 3-13 over those past 16 games. 3-13. We ended last year on a 7-game losing streak, only to come back this year and go on, off, whatever. So 3-13. That if you went 3-13 in a regular season, you'd be picking top 5. 3-13. But what makes this record worse is that we had an entire off season to get better and still come out here trotting this same mess out here. It's ridiculous. Like, You know how bad it was yesterday? Monty Rice was actually taking actual snaps in the defense. And we haven't seen him since, shoot, I don't even remember the last time Monty Rice took an actual in-game snap that wasn't on special teams. Yes, that's where we're at right here. So, what can we do to fix it? I don't think we can do anything to fix it right now. Like, someone said in a group chat that I was talking to him about, it says that Tennessee Titans aren't violent enough. Football is a violent game. There's a lot of hitting, there's a lot of posturing, and we just aren't violent enough. It just it looks like two terribly different teams. And I know that some of that comes with, when a defense sees that the offense can't score, then they kind of lose their energy. But if the offense has to pick up the defense and vice versa, like, that first drive, we got a pick, looked like they got a sack of Baker Mayfield, but it was just like, it was just like everybody was just moving through the thing. And then we got the same old from Mike Vrabel, and we can't dwell on the record. At this point, I'm not on the we need to fire Mike Vrabel train just yet, but his seat is getting really hot. It is really hot because now that we put this to it, like Will Levis is going down the same path as all the other quarterbacks we've had that had potential. There's no good offensive line, and they're getting trashed. Man, and this is the thing. I know we said Tim Kelly was cooking the first part of the year, but right now he's just looking mid. There's no possible. We have teams out here that have quarterbacks. Like Kyler Murray came back yesterday. He had torn his ACL. They were rocking with Clayton Tune and all this. Them Bama scored over 25 points. Who else? The freaking Raiders last night. I didn't even watch part of that game. The Raiders. I mean, they were playing the Jets, who's a pretty good defense. The Raiders scored over 15 points. I don't get what the problem is with this offense. I get you got to work with what you got. But sometimes you just got to say, hey, look, this ain't working for us. We need to go somewhere else. We need to get in the quick passing game, no huddle game. Something has to click as an offensive coordinator to say, hey, I can't keep running the same thing because it's not getting me the results that I want to get. Like the Bucs, one of the worst pass defenses in the league. We didn't push the ball down the field at all. I get it was protection, but there was no pushing the ball down the field. I think there were maybe 2 deep shots. Maybe two. There was no quick passing game. There was nothing. We tried these screens. There's no slants across the middle, nothing. And maybe the game film will prove me wrong when it comes out in a few days, but I know the offensive line was probably an issue. We had people banged up, no Brunski or things like that. We had people filling in. Also, shout out to the Rupchick family. I met them at the game before the season. Their son, Andrew Rupchick, I think he was called as a practice squad. Pretty cool family. They were excited to see about him. But yeah, the offense as a whole, lackluster. Defense, I get Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer, but bro, you can't let Scotty Miller start burning you out here. The only one that on defense that I felt like in the secondary that came to play was Roger McCreary. And he had a tall task trying to cover Mike Evans. And I don't, from my eyes, he did a valiant job. I don't know if he did a good enough job, when the stats come out, but what play was indicative of that whole game is the Mike Evans catch where he caught it on the 5-yard line and Fulton wraps him up. But Fulton's too small and too weak to stop Mike Evans from scoring a touchdown. And Aziz was right there. And guess what Aziz tries to do? Punch the ball out. Instead of making a solid, big form tackle to keep him out the end zone, nah, he just tries to swing at the ball, try to knock it out. And guess what? A whole bunch of cannons started going off at Raymond James. Yeah, those cannons were going off all day long. Yeah, so I don't know what Mike Vrabel's going to do, but he's going to have to do something quick. And you know what? At this particular point, I mean, we haven't won a road game. Somebody had a stat. We hadn't won a road game since like the last road game we won was in Green Bay. That was the last time we scored. Like, not the last time we scored, but that was the closest we got to 30 points in a long time. There's probably hella stats that show you that this offense is inept and things like that. And I'm not even talking about just like it's piss poor. Like I don't know. So in this particular case, yeah, he may not be a bad coach, but his time may be running out here in Tennessee, and that may not be an overreaction because, like I'm saying, 3-13 usually gets coaches fired. Usually gets you fired in this one, especially if you've been there a while. Things like that. And if we don't, I mean, if something miraculous doesn't happen, we just spout off like 6-7 wins, he's gonna be 3-20 plus, in this thing. And I'm not confident enough that, for all the good that he's done, he might still be the guy we need to do. I don't know. We may need to lean towards a offensive minded coach. But, I'm willing to give him a shot. But who really probably should be? Nah, most of the blame should probably be going towards this guy. And that's Shane Bowen. Because looks like Shane Bowen was just a Jim Schwartz merchant. He had a poor 2020. He couldn't stop anybody on third down. We bring in Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz starts to help out, or whenever we did. I'm like I said, I'm coming off the dome, so I don't know if these stats are accurate. We can find them out in the comments. You put them in the comments if my year's off. Jim Schwartz comes in, starts helping out. The defense looks like amazing. Top run defense. Pass defense is still kind of hurt. Jim Schwartz leaves. We right back to being like a terrible defense. Like outside of some flashes, terrible defense. I like. The pass rush is non-existent. Like, yeah. So Shane Bowen need to be on that list too. I mean, Charles London was a good ad. I think he's a great offensive mind. He knows how to develop quarterbacks. Obviously, you can tell from the, Levis and even Willis how that development has paid off. But yeah, Shane Bowen probably need to be up out of here next year. Hopefully, Rand can make some of those choices. And maybe we get some defensive. Maybe Kelly needs to be out here too. Maybe he's not, an offensive coordinator. There's a beat reporter from Houston named Ken Moore. He always talked about how Kelly struggled in the red zone. And I didn't want to believe him, but that man done hit on too many things for us to be disregarding his opinions. And he said Tim Kelly wasn't it. So, I don't know. I don't like to use this term, but a lot of these people in the Tennessee Titans football team, the one that we are considering an actual professional football team, but we can't score more than 6 points in a game, a lot of them are going to have to go look in the mirror and say, hey, do I really want to be here? Or do I really want to play? Or am I losing the locker room? Which Mike Vrabel might be losing the locker room. But, who knows? I'm not on the inside, but that's what it looks like from the outside. And I get it. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, we got $100 million in cap. We done found a franchise quarterback in Will. Everything, I ain't worried about it. And that's all good and well. But do you think Mike Vrabel is the guy that's going to be able to make those changes and make those improvements? And we're going to be able to do it? You think Tim Kelly is the offensive coordinator that's going to be able to get us over the top and get us to scoring 30 points again? Is Shane Bowen the guy that's going to turn our defense around to where we're going to be, and like I said, the league is more explosive, so you got to live with those big plays. But, look at the Browns. Look at the Ravens defense. Look at the Jets defense. Like, we're not on par with any of those teams. Like, not even close to having an actual good defense. So, yeah. So, we really got some soul searching to do, and we don't got a lot of time to do it, because guess what? Next week, we on the road facing the doggone Jacksonville Jaguars. And I'm gonna be at that game too. So we're gonna see if they come out with this lackluster effort, or they'll actually put some energy into the game and try to crawl back from the depths of mediocrity. But we should see. But if you made it this far, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Like I said, we're on our Road to 1K giveaway, where we're going to be giving away a authentic Nike Throwbacks Oilers jersey for our winner. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, where hopefully we'll get a shot of energy, tighten up.